Hell, it's base trade.
Well, game number 3 on a map called Match Point. Kind of a curiously appropriate name, but spawning here in the lower left corner of the map, it's going to be the green Protoss player, Franscar. And before we hop to the other person, I do want to note that we did ask him, I remember the first name ever, is it Franscar, is it Franscar, how do I say your name? He's like, I don't really know, just say it however you want. So, we're going with Franscar.
Okay. In the top right, as the red Zerg, it is tehredbandit.
Red Bandit, of course, just now evening up the series. He did a pretty good... I liked his decision making a lot. Whether it was the reaction to the Reavers, whether it was going for the Mutalisks, the Scourges, what have you, it ended up winning the game in the end. Now, Match Point's a cool map with its wall-offs here. You do see this one odd mineral patch. This actually makes the wall-off not too horrible to take, but it's kind of a straight shot to the main. Whether you're going for the third, the natural, there's not a lot of winding and curving. There's no high ground advantage like there's in a lot of the other maps, because there's so many times where you see that ramp or that choke from the natural to the main, and you can just sit on top of it, and it helps out a little bit with the whole 50% chance to miss thing. But because it's all on the same level, you don't quite have that defender's advantage in the same regard that you do on other maps.
Yeah. It's going to be a Forge Fast expand. He got that Forge first, so he could try and cannon rush. He's not going to, though. I mean, tehredbandit has always been getting pulls, you know, early-ish to standard. Always pull first.
This drone harass is kind of ballsy. It's going to die soon if it's not careful. I'm going to block out the Nexus a little bit longer.
No, don't stop. You're going to die. All right.
First blood.
Yeah, well, he dies. QQ.
Waste of a mineral.
For real. For real. Now, actually blocking on the other side of the map, but that's okay because Red Bandit's not someone who goes for like hatchery first builds or anything. He is going to be coming out with these lings quick, so Franscar is not going to be able to do too much to block this out. I think he sounds alright. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just sometimes have those moments where you're like, wait a minute, I'm not actually sure if the sound is on or not. It's actually kind of annoying too, because a lot of the times I've noticed some of the stream sounds are much louder than they are on my headset, so I have to keep things on a very low volume. Like anytime I play music on the stream, I can't really hear it, but people will still be like, oh, it's way too loud over your voice, and I'm like, how is that possible? Anyways, cleans up that link. Back at home though for Franscar, he's setting up the forges, the cannons behind the forge again. This is a map too where there's odd ramps. If you put a cannon on the very right side, it does cover the ramp and it will shoot at it, but a lot of the times that's not your concern, because like I said, you can either come from the top where it's a straight shot down to the natural, or you can try and curve in from the side. But for Red Bandit, I don't know. I think if he goes for Mutalisks again, I don't think Franscar is going to be caught off guard by it. A lot of what happened in game number 2 really lent to the fact that Franscar opened with a strange build rather than, say, a standard build.
Yeah, definitely. And he's going to be able to scout what exactly he's doing. It's going to be really nice for him. Again, with a relatively fast third. Seen so much aggression that it's odd to see them going for this. It's not even really that much more economical, because they're still really hovering around like the 20 supply and then waiting to see what they can do. Or 20 drones, rather, not 20 supply.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the one difference, though. When you rush out a third, whether it's a macro hatchery in your main or a third physical base, you're going to have that extra larva production, which is going to influence that supply count. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to have down. And yeah, to some regard, I would almost wish it was a macro hatch in the main, because there's no gas at this third. But again, it's sometimes better to have this than not have it, if you can hold it, at least. But Zal coming across the map should poke a little bit. Well, he's already seen the third, right? Okay, yeah, he's already seen it.
Okay. What's he gonna try and do? I mean, kill a few lings, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
I just did something really stupid in real life.
Oh shit! He was trying to look for that probe and he didn't find it. Oh, he's gonna find it now.
So you know when you get those little bits of skin that hang off your fingers, you like pull at it, like above your nails.
Yes.
I think I just ripped off like half my pinky. Oh god, it hurts so bad.
Why'd you tell me that, yo?
Mistakes were made.
Oh god.
I'm sorry. Anyways, my problems aside though, the Overseer again, just kind of getting a lot of free information. There's no stalkers out to chase it, no goons to shut it down, so it's able to just float around freely for the time being.
Can't get the image out of my head now. Oh god.
I'm sorry. My pinky is just, it stings a lot. I got it because it's like on the side of my mouse, right, where I'm like using it to move. I'm sorry. Rufkin has made mistakes.
Oh god. Okay, so Hydrosen is in fact coming down. He's been favoring the Nitas more so than anything else. It seems, anyways. Although he did get some lurkers in that first game. He also had Nitas.
I think the lurkers can work out really nicely if used correctly, especially on a map like this where there's a lot of places where you can hit up at the top of the ramp. You can try and catch your Protoss opponent off guard, but as far as like frontal attacks, they don't flank that well. That's kind of a cute move, by the way, using Blink to blink up here from this little path on the side to just scout. Actually kills a creep tumor too.
Super Imba. What the hell?
Well, I mean, again, Overseer flying on your base for the first 5 minutes uncontested. You call a stalker Imba? It's a drone kill, though, actually, so maybe it is Imba. Dang!
Yeah, shit, look at this. I mean, imagine if there's a Terran as a Blink Stalker all in, alright? Just saying.
As a Terran player, I don't know. It's not as bad, because you get tanks out normally versus Protoss anyways. Blink Stalker's got nothing on
Oh,
tanks.
that's right, you go mech, so that would be really different.
That is such a different dynamic. That is, like, again, the advantage of Starbow. You get to see these cool different... I mean, technically you could mech versus Protoss in regular StarCraft, but it's the road less traveled. Whereas
Mech
over
actually
here...
is. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a bit better. Anyway, Stalker's gonna get into the middle line. Red Bandit gonna be forced to retreat.
The Hydras are on their way. They're just not quite here yet. So he does pull up drones, pretty wisely right there. It's four Stalkers, still a magic number. Oh, that one Stalker.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool seeing that macro hatchery place where it was too, because it actually blocks off a good chunk of the ramp, so it's not like a flood up here can really shut this down. And if you put some lurkers, it's a second choke on top of the choke from the ramp. So that's actually kind of cool placement for the hatchery over there.
Yeah.
I always forget. Sorry, we got a bit of engagement here. But I was gonna say, I always forget about how units auto split in this game. It's so weird watching idle units just kind of move around.
Yeah. Storm is almost finished. It's going to be really key in holding off any aggression if tehredbandit decides that he sees an opportunity, which so far he hasn't. He hasn't really big on the Hydra bus. He's waited till lurkers.
Oh, wrapping around the side. Drone does get sniped. The Hydra's dead.
Uh-oh.
Actually in a bit of trouble. He's going across the... He's going for the attack, which is not necessarily a bad idea, but if he loses the Hydra down before group spines completes, then all of a sudden this is really terrible. Although
Chrono boost.
I don't think... No, he doesn't have the DPS for that.
It's going to be so close. Storm is done, though. He needs to be careful about how he controls his attack.
Templar coming from behind actually can get focused on immediately. Storms do land on a lot of the Hydralists, though, and these have been softened up and cut up quite decently. Zealots don't have that charge, though, and this is what we were talking about when we referenced the last game, guys. It doesn't matter how many Zealots you have, if they don't have charge, they can't connect to Hydralists that have muscular augments.
This is still a big problem. Those Blink Stalkers actually taking down a lot of reinforcements. They did, in fact, take down the Hydralist den, but not before the upgrade finished, so nothing but Lings from now on if he wants to build any offensive units.
Lose a couple Hydras. Might be better to just dive for the few weak Stalkers. I mean, trying to run away from this. Blink's just
yeah,
gonna be
he should
better
just
than
dive.
Speed.
He's probably not paying attention, honestly, right now. Unfortunately, he is down 40 supply. Not over on. You can come back from that in Starbow, but it is rather worrying because it's not just gateway units too. Franscar has Storm.
Yeah, and it's not... The problem is there's no quite direct counters in Starbow either. Like, we all know Marauders beat out Stalkers. They're designed to do that. There's nothing in Starbow that really acts in that same level of counterattack. But, again, units are more effective against other types of units. So right now, Red Bandit's kind of going for this blanket approach, just having a lot in the field. But that's not necessarily the best idea, because everything he has right now is very susceptible to storms. And he's already seen 3 or 4 of those, and there's plenty more where those came from.
Yeah. Yep. So Franscar is not going to be pushing out anytime soon. Seems. He does have that third up, and he's getting, very content on 3 base, as one will be.
One awkward ling gets in scouts all that.
Yeah, he should push out though, honestly, because I mean, tehredbandit's having trouble getting once again above a certain supply.
And you know what? That's the thing too. The lurker den now coming in. This was delayed because the Hydralisk den died earlier, so he's not gonna have lurkers. Where in another scenario, he may have actually already had some down.
Yeah. That's very true. That's actually really worrying because he is the one that had lurkers in time, just barely in time, and there was no observer. Now it's not going to matter. The storm's going to be plenty.
It looks like a similar situation to that one on Texas, but not going to be the case. Backs away from this a little bit. More storms going down on top of the Hydralisk, but there's so many Zealots behind this, and they do have speed now. So that charge upgrade allows them to connect to this a lot better, a lot easier, and a lot more effective. I love the choice to abandon the base with the drones. He knows these are a big risk. But even then, I don't know. He doesn't really have more spine cars behind this. There's no wall up. the hatchery's gonna fall, and unfortunately in Starbow you don't even make larva, or sorry, was it broodlings when it dies. Sorry, brain fart there.
Yeah, looks like tehredbandit's gonna be out. Franscar continues on.
Oh, well, you know what? Hold that thought. He's completing the Spire. If he can hold out just long enough to get Mutalisks out, this could turn around.
Doesn't have enough money.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, nothing in the bank after losing that base. This is such a desperate scenario. Putting more and more money into the Hydralisk. He's gonna keep trying to kite back from this, but now there's Archons out too, and Archons, oh boy, they're the same badasses that they are in StarCraft regularly. If you're biological, well, if you're clumped, you're gonna be having a bad time versus an Archon. He's gonna try and focus it down, and it will fall, but again, there's still Zealots, there's still Storms recharging the energy. Good game is gonna be called a Red Bandit. Sadly, will be knocked out of the tournament by Franscar. So big congratulations to him. Complete revenge on the first time they fought each other.